If you're a parent, some days just feel like you're in survival mode, right? Well, what if there was a way to completely change that? Today, we're diving into the key ideas from The Whole Brain Child, a book that shows how understanding your child's mind can turn those really tough moments into these incredible opportunities for growth.
Let's just start with a feeling I think every parent knows all too well. Those moments, and let's be honest, it can be multiple times a day, where you're not really parenting, you're just surviving. The sibling fights, the homework battles, that morning chaos. Yeah, you know the drill.
Okay, so this is where the big shift happens. The book asks us to basically reframe these super stressful survive moments into powerful thrive opportunities. So all of a sudden, a tantrum isn't just chaos you have to manage, it's a chance to teach resilience. A fight over a toy? That becomes a real-time lesson in empathy. This one change in perspective is really the heart of the whole brain approach.
And that is such a powerful foundation, right? You're moving from just trying to get through the day to actively nurturing the person your child is becoming. You're not just managing behavior anymore. You're literally building a brain.
And you want to know the best part? This isn't about adding more to your already full plate or trying to find some special thriving time. The whole idea is to use the moments you already have, the good, the bad, and the totally chaotic, as the raw material to help your child grow.
So, how do we actually make this shift? Well, the entire approach is rooted in a pretty simple but profound understanding of how your child's brain actually works. And trust me on this, once you see it, you can't unsee it in your daily life.
Okay, so the key concept here is integration. And I know it sounds a little technical, but all it really means is helping the different parts of your child's brain work together like a team. When all these parts are linked up and communicating well, your child is more balanced, they make better decisions, and they just have a greater sense of well-being. Now this is a complete game changer for parents. It's a constant reminder that our kids, whether they're toddlers or teenagers, are working with a brain that is literally still under construction. And that simple fact explains so much of their behavior.
So what happens when the brain isn't integrated? Well, kids get stuck. Imagine a peaceful river of well-being. When things are out of sync, a child can get swept to one bank, that's chaos, where they feel totally out of control, or to the other bank, that's rigidity, where they're inflexible and just can't adapt. Our job as parents is to help them navigate back to the middle of that river.
So, how do we actually do this? The first practical strategy is all about integrating the two very different personalities that are inside our child's head, the logical left brain and the emotional right brain. Think of it like this. Your left brain loves logic, order, and words. It's very linear and literal. Your right brain, on the other hand, is all about emotion, nonverbal cues, and the big picture feeling of an experience. It's kind of where our gut feelings come from.
Now, picture a meltdown. When a child is having a tantrum, they are completely flooded by their emotional right brain. It's like an emotional tsunami. And their logical left brain? It's essentially offline. This is exactly why trying to reason with a screaming toddler is like trying to explain calculus to a cat. It is just not going to work.
And that leads to this beautifully simple two-step strategy: connect and redirect. Your first job is to connect with that emotional right brain. Get down on their level, offer a hug, validate the feeling. Wow, you are so angry right now. You're speaking their language. And only then, once they feel seen and heard, can you bring in the left brain and redirect with logic, boundaries, and solutions.
This whole idea of a hijacked brain leads us right into another incredibly useful way to picture what's going on: the difference between the upstairs and the downstairs brain.
I love this metaphor from the book. Picture your child's brain as a two-story house. The downstairs is the primitive part. It handles basic functions and those big, raw emotions like anger and fear. The upstairs? Well, that's the more sophisticated part, where logic, planning, and empathy live. It's the mature, thinking part of the brain.
But here's the catch. That sophisticated upstairs brain is under construction for years. So, the downstairs brain's little watchdog, the amygdala, can easily hijack the whole system. And when that happens, the child flips their lid, losing access to all those thoughtful upstairs skills. Which brings us to the crucial question that every single parent faces. What is the best thing to do when your child has totally lost access to their calm, thoughtful upstairs brain and is operating purely from that reactive downstairs brain?
The strategy is simple. Engage, don't enrage. Look, if you meet their downstairs brain tantrum with your own demands and threats, you're just going to escalate the chaos. Instead, your goal is to appeal to their upstairs brain, to invite it back online. You do this by asking questions, offering choices, and negotiating. You're basically helping them climb back up that mental staircase to their thoughtful, calmer self.
So, after all this brain science, what's the one thing you need to remember in the heat of a really tough parenting moment? What is the key takeaway here?
It's this. Stop seeing misbehavior as defiance. Start seeing it as a call for help. When you understand that your child's brain is still developing, you realize they're not giving you a hard time, they're having a hard time. Every single meltdown is a signal that they are lacking a skill, and it's an opportunity for you to teach it.
And this completely reframes the whole idea of discipline. You know, the word literally means to teach, not to punish. When you respond with empathy and a strategy, you're not just stopping bad behavior for a minute, you are physically building the neural connections in your child's brain that will serve them for the rest of their life.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. What if the hardest, most frustrating moments of parenting are actually the most important ones? Because those are the moments where, with these strategies, you have the chance to turn a challenge into a connection and help build the amazing person your child is becoming.